Bricks out there, and today we are taking a look at my modified version of the 2021 Imperial Shuttle. I reviewed this set last week on the channel, but there were some flaws with it that I wasn't too happy about, so I did go through and change up some things. I added some landing gear, I kind of fixed up the cockpit, I beefed up the wings a bit, and I also made its passenger count. I gave it the ability to carry more passengers. So without any further ado, let's just get into it. Starting off on the cockpit, you can see that it is much longer than it originally was. I added a lot more pieces on the front. I also added some pieces on the back, kind of just to make it longer in both directions. As you can see, there's a much smaller gap between the main body of the ship and the cockpit, which I also did for more accuracy. The window has also been shrunken down a bit, and that is just because I covered more of it up. I added some more tiles here, kind of just to keep the smooth look. It is also symmetrical. And previously you were able to open the cockpit with the main body piece still attached. You will need to lift that up now to get into the cockpit. Now, the inside of this model's cockpit has been changed a lot compared to how it previously looked. As you can see, there are now control panels in the cockpit and also 2 seats. So I did make it so that you can fit 2 people in there, and I will show that off now. Just putting one guy in there and the other. And it's a tight fit, but they do both fit in there. Kind of hard to see with this piece in the way, but you can kind of get the idea. And once again, you will need to put that down to lower it. And it's dark, but you can kind of see them in there. I have also made some modifications to the underside of the cockpit, and those consist of me kind of smoothing off the chin that this set had, kind of with these curved pieces, and then kind of just ending it off there. You can kind of get a better idea of those pieces that I used. I also just made the base of the cockpit longer. I used a piece that I believe was 2 studs longer. I also tried and did okay at fixing some of the gaps underneath the cockpit. I didn't do perfectly, but you can kind of see in there that a lot of the gapping is gone. It's definitely much better than it was. Taking a look at the back of the ship, you can see that not much has changed here. All I really did was just kind of redesign the cannons a bit. I pushed them closer together and kind of rounded off the top and sides. I also added another panel here just to make the back look a bit more finished. Now, taking a look at the guns, I did shorten these 2 guns right here. They used to be longer pieces, and I kind of shortened those down. And I kind of interchanged these guns with these guns, basically. And so that these were slightly longer. They are still stable because of just some added, these kind of curved pieces. And then I also put some Gray Technic pins on top of those to give them more of a Star Wars gun look. The wings also have just a bit of extra bulk. I kind of filled in these sections right here so they just look much more boxy and accurate. I also did kind of beef up the wings a bit so that they're 3 plates thick for the majority of the build. So it kind of has a much nicer look and kind of matches the main wing a bit more. I also did fill in these gaps with these rail pieces. And now the moment that everyone's been waiting for, the body of the ship. I didn't do much to the exterior. I did add some cheese slopes here and also on the other side. There is also this 1x2 or 1x4 tile there and some just larger sloped pieces here. But the majority of the changes was done on the inside, and you can just open that right up and take a look. Now it is kind of hard to get a perfect look at the interior just because of the way that the top opens, but there you go. And you can see that I did add 4 seats. I changed up the seating completely, and now it can hold 4 passengers instead of the original 2. The seats, it's just a much more tiled off look, much less studs showing, and I also added 2 kind of radar control panels in there, just to kind of fill in some holes on the wall. I also kind of tiled off these little walls nicely, so it kind of just all looks nice and clean. And I filled in the top right up there. And now you can also fit, like I said, minifigures. Simply, it's kind of hard to do right now, but it's just because the angle that I'm working at. You want to make sure that their arms are nice and up. And just sit them down. There they go. So you can take General Veers. You can take Agent Callus. And both of them just sit nicely. It works the same way for the other side, of course. It is a bit hard to fit minifigures like Darth Vader in there, because it doesn't really accommodate for the capes, so they will get a bit squished, but it should still be fine enough as long as you don't leave them in there for too long. But that is what it looks like with 2 minifigures in there, and there is just enough headroom that it will close. Closes perfectly, just like it would if there were no modifications. All in all, I am very happy with how this turned out. This set was surprisingly easy to modify. A lot of it came apart quite easily, and by that I don't mean that it just falls apart in your hands, but I mean it was easy enough to take apart that I could remove massive parts of it easily, like the top fin and kind of the sides of the body, so that I could get better access to actually modify the interior, making it a very fun and easy modification process, and I appreciate that. I think that the final outcome turned out beautifully. I am really happy with it, and I think this will look beautiful in my collection. So yeah, if you guys like how this mod turned out, please let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.